I'm Dr. David Crozy with 20 Calls Per Week Marketing, and I want to introduce you to Amy.
Hello.
And Sheri.
Hello.
And I'm super excited that you two could come in and talk with potential people going through this course about how it worked for you. So just to explain a little bit, Sheri started as my wellness programs manager back in 2012, did it for 2 years. She got hired away by this terrible dental office.
Terrible.
And fortunately, I was able to hire Amy, and she did an amazing job for 2 years. She ended up having her second baby, and it didn't make sense to do daycare, and so she had to take off and spend time with her babies. And so Sheri happened to be in a position so she could come back in, and now Sheri's been in this position for 2 years. And you two have done just an amazing job. I looked at the numbers between the two of you. You scheduled over 180 events. Lunch and learns and wellness fairs. And obviously we got to help so many, probably hundreds of patients, and I mean, it's just done amazing things for me and my family. It enabled me to get 100% out of debt, and just made our practice a success. So it's so grateful for that. I do want to ask you a couple questions just to get a little information about how doing this program worked for you. So the first question would be, prior to doing this wellness programs manager role, did you have any similar business-to-business direct sales experience? So, Amy?
I did not. The closest thing I had to doing sales was in personal training, just selling programs to people, but it was already given to me by a salesperson that did the general sales for the gym, so I did not have any sales experience beyond that.
And Sheri?
I also did not have any sales experience beyond occasionally in my previous job in retail, I would make cold calls trying to hire on and bring on managers or assistant managers, but that would be the closest thing that I did to this type of a job.
Okay, and then just a quick question. So do you consider yourself to be a natural salesperson?
Not at all. Absolutely not.
Okay, what about you, Sheri?
A little bit, just because I worked in retail, so I do have a little bit of a sales, but not this kind of sales.
Okay. And so, I mean, obviously, I just think you two did an amazing job. So I'm curious what you would say were the key things about this program that enabled you to do such a good job reaching out to these businesses and asking if we could come and do the lunch and learns and health fairs for them. So, Amy, let's have you go first.
I would say definitely believing in chiropractic care and being enthusiastic about Dr. Crozy and the way he cares for his patients, standing behind what he stands for. So having that was really good when you're talking to people, trying to get them to do a lunch and learn. Also, the resources we have here, our patients are great resources, finding out where they work and talking to them. Also, like the book of lists was good to have, and just definitely the help from Dr. Crozy, having a game plan before you're making the phone calls. A script, so to say, that way you know how to answer questions when people call and ask about lunch and learns and how we operate things here. So it's good to have it planned out before you call people, and I think that really made it more successful for me anyways, not having that sales background, just kind of knowing what to say and how to answer their questions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and Sheri, anything to add to that or your experience?
I would agree definitely with believing in the process and believing in what we do, and that we are wanting to help patients not have to be on so many medications, not have to get surgery. So really believe in that. Kind of let that come through on your voice when you're talking to these people. Be excited about what we offer. Don't get discouraged if they say no. Nobody's really ever mean about it. They just tell you they're not interested, and then put them down to contact them again in a year. And keep diligent with your phone calls because, for example, we had one situation where we contacted these people for probably 2-3 years between Amy and I both, and then just one day I called, and lo and behold, they decided to do a health fair. So we got in on the health fair. It was super successful. We got 20 new patients signed up for them from this health fair, so it definitely pays to be diligent about it. So
awesome. Well, and then a final question: what advice would you give a new wellness programs manager to have success in this role?
I would kind of to go along with what Sheri said, being very persistent with your phone calls. Call at different times during the day. So if you don't get someone in the morning, try in the afternoon. Don't call at the lunch hour every day when you have free time. Definitely, if someone tells you no, don't be discouraged. And if someone doesn't answer or call you back, it doesn't mean they're not interested. They might just be busy. So don't give up on those companies, because I actually had a few people tell me, oh, if you wouldn't have called me that 5th time, we wouldn't have scheduled. So just stay persistent with that. And when you are at a Lunch and Learn, take the time to meet the person you set it up with, because you'll want to be able to talk to them and do the follow-up Lunch and Learns to keep that business growing over time with that company.
Yep.
Awesome.
Definitely agree with all of those points. You know, again, just staying diligent, don't get discouraged. It can sometimes, when you get told no several times in a row, sometimes it's good just to walk away from it for a little while and do something else, and then come back and get back at it again and stay positive. And I know of the different tools that we have with the Bitrix that we're using right now. It's a fantastic tool to help me keep track of how often I'm calling these businesses, the time of the day I'm calling these businesses, and it allows me to put in those tasks to help me remind myself that I contacted them a month ago, it's time to contact them again, and just, you know, don't get discouraged. That's the main thing. Have fun with it. Sometimes I try to change up the how we talk about it and the scripts that we use, because we do have scripts spelled out to help you kind of get all the points that you need to. But over time, as you do it so many times, you kind of start to have it memorized. So you kind of start ad-libbing a little bit. That makes it a lot easier to troubleshoot when somebody asks you a question that maybe you weren't prepared for, or you have a situation that you weren't prepared for, then you're better able to kind of take care of that. So just stay diligent and don't get discouraged.
All right, well, those are great pieces of advice, and again, I appreciate you so much. I do have a little surprise for you, so I've created a little special award for each of you. So, all right, so first off, for Amy here, we've got the Welcome to the Gun Show Award, and I got to tell the story behind this. So, you heard that Amy was a personal trainer before she became this wellness programs manager role. She's great about working out. And so we'd go to these events, and there'd be ones where I would bring in a little briefcase with my laptop and maybe 1 or 2 other things in it, and then I'd have like 6 pizzas, and we'd have all these bags full of salads and all this stuff and a spine, and Amy would like gather it all up in her arms and like walk in there, and I'd be like, well, we can make 2 trips sometimes, but Amy's like, no, I got it.
Gotta carry it all in at once.
Her competitive side would come out, but I would walk up and we'd go and meet the person from the company, and I'd be thinking sometimes like, they probably think I'm the biggest asshole. Because here I got 6 pizzas, and it looks like I forced Amy to carry like 60 pounds of stuff.
Yes.
So anyways, Amy,
Great.
welcome to the Gun Show Award.
Thank you.
You can put it on the fridge with your kids' artwork, so
I will.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And then Sheri, Sheri gets the Rockstar Shoes Award. And so, so the story here. So again, Sheri worked for me for 2 years, then she was off working for the crummy dentist office for a couple years. Came back in, and we had this big health fair. I mean, it was a pretty big opportunity. And Sheri came dressed very nicely. But her shoes, Sheri worked in what was it, a music store when she was younger. Yes. She's a free spirit. She's wearing Converse All-Stars. And afterwards, I mean, it's not like, I mean, I know deep down that people wouldn't not schedule because of her shoes, but afterwards I was like, Sheri, can you like maybe, you know, at these bigger events, just wear something a little bit professional? And so Sheri went shoe shopping, I think at DSW, but yeah, you better get these up high enough where we can make sure that you can see them. Oh, they're in there, yeah. So Sheri comes back.
Rockstar shoes.
Sheri comes back with the Rockstar shoes, and yeah, so they are professional. And I think, have we ever gone to an event where you didn't get a compliment?
No, never actually. Everyone loves my shoes.
Yeah, so there you go. So Rockstar shoes.
Awesome.
So
Thank you.
Thank you so much again for the guns and the Rockstar status. So. But yeah, I hope that you've gotten this interview, found it to be beneficial, and gotten a better idea of what it's like to be successful being a wellness programs manager. So thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Awesome.